Right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. حمدا يوافي نعمه ويكافئ مزيده يا ربنا لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك وعظيم سلطانك اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. Okay, Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon to everyone. Okay, so I haven't been on live for a while. Okay, have been focusing on the the speaking class and writing class, which we conducted like in the past 2 weeks. All right, so recently Saturday we had the writing class, and then on last week Saturday we had the speaking class. Okay, so thank you to everyone who joined. All right, the classes. I had fun actually interacting with everyone. So it's different, when you're recording on your own. Good. When you're recording a lesson, and when you're actually live with 200 something participants, it's really different. Okay, so thank you again to all those who joined and actively participated in the classes. So here we have Dia, okay, Alia, hello, Farhana, salam, okay, walaikum salam, Alia, and to everyone. Okay, now for today, um, what triggers me to have this session today is based on the questions which I received from the class 2 days ago. Alright, so banyak soalan yang Madam rasa frequently asked lah, tapi ada juga yang baru baru dengar, so usually I do my coaching based on what people ask me lah. Okay, the challenges that candidates are having. So it's nice to know, and it's nice to learn new challenges, okay, from the class baru ni lah. Right, so from the writing class 2 days ago, we did practical hands-on practice. Okay, so we actually timed. This time around I actually used my timer, okay, to not only discipline time participants, but also to time myself to make sure that my objectives would be able to be conducted and dilaksanakan lah pada hari workshop tersebut. Okay, so alhamdulillah, my objectives mostly were achieved, where we had a lot done on that day for task 1, task 2. Okay, so for task 2, so today I'd like to answer certain questions about task 2. Yeah, so task 2, task 2, if we look at it, it's not challenging. Alright, however, yang pentingnya adalah you kena faham the 3 jenis task. Alright, tiga jenis essay tu. So we have the discursive, we have the argumentative, and we have the problem solution. Okay, so kalau you faham apa tujuan untuk menulis all of these different essays tu, so tak ada masalah, takkan ada masalah. Okay, so we have, for example, first argumentative is the well-known okay, the well-known essay, sebab dah lama Muet gunakan argumentative. IELTS pun guna argumentative. Okay, so argumentative rasanya mostly tak ada masalah, meaning you kena tunjukkan your opinion, whether you agree or you disagree or you partially agree with the statement or the notion which is being put forth. Okay, all right, so we have a lot of many people joining today, alhamdulillah. All right, happy to meet all of you. We have Dia, okay, we have Shahira Suhaila, we have Ariana Venti, okay, we have Siti Nur Alia. All right, okay, all right, so yes, the left click book, which I find is concise. Madam bukan jenis rajin sangat nak baca panjang-panjang. However, this book is quite concise and tepat lah, Madam rasakan lah. Okay, so argumentative is like that. So thesis statement, you all memang kena betul-betul jaga and practice to make to write a good thesis statement, not an effective thesis statement. Okay, so ingat thesis statement perlu letak dalam introduction dan juga in the conclusion. Alright, now for discursive, okay, frequently asked question, dengar betul-betul. So the discursive, what is discursive? Discursive is actually an essay which it should portray your opinion. Okay, now di banyak definition tau di luar sana, definisi banyaklah berkenaan dengan discursive ni. However, dalam konteks Muet ni, okay, it needs to show your opinion. Okay, so opinion macam mana? So contoh bila soalan tu ada statement, okay, and then it says please express your opinion in your essay. So what you have to do is you have to show whether you are for or against, or are you neutral about the statement. Okay, so dia macam lebih kurang juga dengan argumentative. Okay, however, you tak semestinya tunjuk firmly bahawa you agree, you disagree, meaning statement tu, frasa, the phrase I agree, I disagree, tu sahaja beza. Okay, so di sini, what do you call it? You just have to show your opinion. So contohnya, okay, thesis statement that I could share with you. All right, if we were to have a question about the statement like what we did in our class the other day, failure encourages self-development. Failure encourages self-development. Okay, so here, do we agree? Are we for or are we against the the statement? So if we are for the statement, we could say failure encourages self-development because number one, it helps us to learn our mistakes. Number two, it helps us to boost our motivation. And number three, because it helps us change our worldview of life, for example. So itu thesis statement untuk discursive. Okay, tak ada I agree because, tak ada in discursive. Walaupun you agree, tapi you tak sebut lah you agree. So bila you cakap failure encourages self-development, it just already shows that you are agreeing with the statement. So if you disagree with the statement, you'd say failure does not encourage self-development because blah 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 blah. 1, 2, 3 main point. Okay, now what if we are neutral about the stand? Okay, what if we are neutral about the statement? So thesis statement dia tak semestinya satu ayat tau. So you can say something like, all right, if you don't agree and you don't really disagree with the statement failure encourages self-development. Okay, so maybe you rasa macam setuju juga tapi tak setuju sangat, macam you're on a neutral stand. So that means you can have a thesis statement like this. Okay, listen carefully. Failure in some cases could improve or could encourage self-development in a person. However, there are certain instances when failure can actually self-sabotage a person. Okay, so here there's two sentences di mana you tunjuk dua side kepada isu tersebut. Okay, so that means with your 3 body paragraphs, you perlu bagi sama ada 2 setuju, 1 tak setuju, ataupun 1 setuju, 2 tak setuju. Lebih kurang macam tu lah. Okay, and then so dia banyak kerja sikit lah. Okay, so it takes a lot of work lah in order for you to to portray your disagreement, your neutral stand. So if you have the capacity, okay, kalau you memang betul-betul macam neutral, so we have to do that work lah. Okay, so if you want to make it an easier take on it, alright, dalam 50 minit tau, you ada 50 minit. Ada certain orang ni memang candidates yang memang dia penulis, okay, like these people have their blog, they always write in their Twitter, okay, so the language is just there. Memang ada candidates macam ni, okay, yang walaupun dia buat partially agree pun dia dapat band 5, okay, so these are really advanced writers. I'm not sure if I'm like that, okay. I could write something like that, but if I were to have to write that in 15 minutes, I'm not sure if I myself could do that, okay. Or it depends on the issue, it depends on the context, all right. Okay, so for myself, if you want to make to have the easy way out, okay, you just have either go or for or against it, okay. So that's my stand, okay, that's my opinion. If you feel otherwise, you could try. So it does need practice. If you do want to try for that partially agree kind of thing, you do need to have practice, okay. Timed practice, not only regular practice. Okay, so do you have any questions here? Okay, itu so that is for discursive and argumentative. And so how is it like if you were to write the thesis statement for the problem solution? Now, problem solution, ladies and gentlemen, is really simple. It's really straightforward kind of essay. So dia ada problem and then you bagi solution tu je. So dalam question dia akan bagi problem lah, okay. Dia akan bagi some issue, for example cyberbullying, or they can give something like about student stress, about health issues. Okay, there's so many things out there. Or maybe students with even failure encourages self-development. Boleh ke jadi So in the question dia akan bagi problem. So your thesis statement has to focus on how to solve the problem, suggestions, okay. So you akan focus on how je. Okay, for discursive and argumentative, you can explain how, you can explain why or what. But for problem solution, I would say that's like the easiest essay lah, problem solution. Di mana your thesis statement contohnya, if there's issues about cyberbullying, okay, how please provide some suggestions on how to resolve cyberbullying issues, for example, okay. So here you say certain ways, or the ways in order to solve cyberbullying are number 1, number 2, number 3, okay. So it's very simple. Okay, so do you have any questions here, guys? I'm going to look through the live chat. Okay, ramai ketukians ni. Okay, so good. Okay, ketukians bagus. Okay, so here, what do we have? Any questions here, guys? Okay, we have Amar, we have Buji-san, we have Hasiba. All right, we have Nurul Wafa, Putri Anis. Okay, we have Afi Aiman. Hello. Intan Jeffrey. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Nalin. Hello. Okay. All right. So Amar. Then we have Izati. All right. Okay. Amar is putting, in my opinion, I think in the thesis encouraged. All right. For argumentative, it's actually encouraged to say I agree, I disagree. Okay. There is no problem in putting in my opinion or I think. Okay, boleh saja. I think tu macam casual sangat lah. You can say in my opinion or I believe. If you want to use the first person voice, okay. If you want to use the third person, boleh juga, alright. Meaning you have to use a lot of passive voice kan. Using active voice is okay. Boleh saja, okay. As long as you show maturity. Okay. Now, showing maturity tak semestinya you kena guna passive voice, tak semestinya you guna third person punya, or apa orang ketiga tu, third person, for example, you don't say I. Okay, I is first person. So tak semestinya bila you guna I think, or in my opinion, that is not matured. So you just make sure within your explanation, your elaboration, that you do show your maturity. Now, maturity, when we talk about maturity, apa maksud maturity? Suara yang matang. Okay, what does it mean to have a mature voice in the essay? So when I did my IELTS, I asked myself, how am I supposed to be more matured in my writing? Okay, so I learned, okay, from various workshops and I asked certain expert teachers also. Maturity is when you are able to convey abstract concepts. Alright, if you look dalam kalau tengok dalam descriptors criteria for band 5, for a band 5 candidate is when you are able to portray abstract concepts. For example, if we were to talk about self failure kan, failure encourages self development. Okay, so if you are a lower band, you would just talk about how um, when someone fails, they'll feel sad, and then they will think about how to fix their mistakes, macam huraikan benda tu, and then how to go away from the stress, something that's surface level. So if you want to go higher maturity level, you have to go towards how someone can be more resilient. Okay, resilient in facing failure, or maybe how a person can change their worldview. Okay, after going through failure, how someone would change their worldview of life, because they would realize that there is a divine intervention in everything that someone does. Contoh macam tu lah, lebih kurang. Okay, nampak tak dia punya level tu, maturity tu, yeah. Okay, more questions. Dia, okay, madam, for argumentative essay, do we need to write I agree, disagree for each paragraph, or just stand in it? Okay, so I agree and disagree, I disagree is you only need that in the thesis statement lah. All right, thesis statement being the thesis statement in the introduction, and the thesis statement, you enforce your thesis statement in the conclusion, yeah. Okay, madam, how to Madam, how to differentiate whether the question is argumentative or discursive? So argumentative is clear cut, where it asks you, do you agree the statement, or it asks for your viewpoint. Okay, kalau discursive ni dia hanya minta opinion, alright, your thoughts. Okay, so itu je beza dia, yeah. Kila. Yes. Okay, so it's nice to see a lot of interaction in here. Okay, helping each other. Alright, so we have Ketukis in here. Okay, so we have Mawadah, Madiha. Yeah, okay. Nabila Shah. Right. Any other questions? Okay, so if there are any more questions, that's my sharing for today. Okay, meaning how to differentiate the three different essays. So it's really simple actually. Kalau you ingat objektifnya apa, okay, then dia akan guide you lah, pandu you bila you nak tulis thesis statement. Ariana Venti, madam, does linking words honestly for task 1, task 2? Linking words it would be more for task 2. Oh yeah, sebab task 1 ni email dia very very concise tau. You tak sempat nak tak sempat tulis panjang-panjang sangat, So for task 2, where you have to elaborate your ideas, memang linking words are needed lah, supaya you punya writing tu tersusun, and examiner pun mudah nak follow your writing, right? Okay, so linking words are really important for task 2. Okay, Ariana. So Amar, what can we do to practice writing a mature writing, madam? Okay, so what I would suggest is, if you have books, okay, writing books, okay, first you can try developing, or bila you tengok ada latihan kan, contoh you have you tengok satu soalan tu kan dalam buku, alright, you try outlining your ideas first, okay, based on what you have in your head. So what I do is that's what I do, okay, I try to develop first on my own, and then once I have done that, okay, bila madam dah brainstorm, madam sendiri dah pun outline my ideas, then I try to build on my knowledge, build on my ideas by tengok answer scheme. Okay, tapi you jangan tengok answer scheme dulu, dia tak efektif tau. Bila you nak jawab soalan kata tak ada idea lah, lepas tu you tengok answer scheme terus. So memang okay, kalau based on what I've done, dia tak kekal sangat, alright? So that it's not that effective when you look at the answer scheme right away. So what you can do is you try to develop your ideas first, kemudian bila you dah settle, dah keluarkan your ideas, your brainstorm, then only then you develop or you build on that by number one, looking at the answer scheme, and number two, you can Google. Okay, Google after that. So time macam ni lah. Okay, where you have to prepare. This is where you can Google and search what are ideas, mature ideas out there that you can save in your head on each theme, so untuk theme health macam ni, untuk theme self development macam ni, untuk theme education, what are words that you can use, like cognitive, social cognitive kau benda lah. Okay, so this is how you're able to do that. Yeah, okay. So my battery is going out, is running low, so I'll take a few more questions. Yeah, okay, so I hope that answers your question. Yeah, Amar, I hope the best for you, Amar Zufanis. Okay, Fatini, madam, what should we write for conclusion or last paragraph? Okay, so like I mentioned in our class, Fatini, I remember you're in the class. Okay, Fatini, in the conclusion, yeah. Alright, so in the class, we didn't get to the conclusion kan, dah habis masa. However, in the notes that I gave you, I already gave an example of conclusion for the self-development punya contoh tu. Madam dah add, tambah kat bawah sekali dalam notes yang Madam bagi kat you all tu. Okay, so you boleh tengok contoh conclusion. Alright, so conclusion tu you have to make sure you start with a thesis statement. Alright, and then you have some kind of elaboration, and then you end with recommendation lah. Okay, recommendation. For example, it is hoped that blah 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 blah. All right, that kind of thing. Yeah, Fatini, doesn't have to be long. 3 sentences is okay. Okay, Alia, yes. Discursive, expressing opinion, argumentative, viewpoint. Right. Okay, correct. Okay, Alia, letak thesis statement dalam intro dan conclusion, tukar-tukar ayat sikit. Betul. Okay, tukar-tukar ayat sikit. Betul. Okay, so Alia's got it already. Okay. Okay, guys, anything else? Tak ada soalan dah? Okay, so that's basically the frequently asked questions for task 2. Alright, now Madam sebenarnya plan untuk buat thesis statement untuk setiap task baru-baru ni in our class. However, masa sangat mencemburui kita. Okay. However, I feel that kalau you dah nampak macam mana develop tu, macam like what we did in our class on Saturday, it will it was the same thing. Alright, it's just the same thing that you just have to do with all the other tasks. Bezanya hanyalah di thesis statement. Okay, bila you dah faham soalan, the whole thing is okay lah. Alright, so sekarang ni isunya adalah you understanding the format, and then your timing, and then forcing yourself to practice. Itu sebenarnya yang menentukan kejayaan you all. Okay, right, so Ketukians, if you're in here, Ketukians, keep practicing. Alright, so in our group you all lucky because ada Coach Arif yang boleh bagi comments apa semua for your writing. Yeah, so are 3 points enough, madam, for writing task 2? Yes, inshallah should be enough. 3 main points. Alright, body paragraph 1, 2 and 3. Alright, so ada yang tanya, madam, kalau nak buat 4 boleh tak? So to me, okay, 3 dah cukup sebenarnya. So baiklah you salurkan energy you untuk mematangkan 3 points daripada you dapat 4. Tapi 4 ni macam shallow tau. You know shallow, yang macam kurang matured macam tu. Okay, so it's better if you develop 3 really nice paragraphs instead of having 4 which are touch and go kind of paragraphs. Okay, alright. Okay, so I think I'll leave you with that. Okay guys, so thank you again for joining me in this live session. So dah lama sangat Madam tak live sebenarnya. Okay. So Madam di kesempatan ini, alright, let's say thank you again for all those who joined the classes. I learned from you too, ya. Bukan you all macam learn from me sahaja. However, I learn from you, from your questions, from how you develop your ideas. So that's why Madam minta you all snap semua kan. Why it's hands-on, because I want to see how um how well and how well you can actually develop in dalam konteks apa, dalam konteks kelas macam tu. Alright, okay, so I have joined classes yang sebegitu rupa for my PhD, so it actually worked for me. So I'm trying those methods for you actually. So alhamdulillah, um I'm really happy for those participants who actively participated. Okay, so congratulations. Alright. Hamba Allah macam mana nak join tuition Madam. So Madam sebenarnya memang tak selalu buat kelas. Okay, so I don't always have live classes because I am a full-time PhD student. Okay, I'm attached with a university, so Madam perlu habiskan. And alright, so Madam hanya buat time available. So untuk session 2 Madam nampak tak sempat dah. Okay, so that was my last class for session 2 writing. However, untuk membantu siapa-siapa yang perlukan, okay, so I'm having the team open the self-coaching punya apa module, okay, di mana recording tu Madam akan sediakan bersama notes, okay. Okay, alright. So I'll have my team use that recording, and then also provide the materials. So you just have to register for that self-coaching module, di mana you boleh self-coach diri sendiri dengan materials tu dan dengan adanya recording tu, insyaAllah. Okay, so Madam mohon maaf, Madam tak mampu nak buat kelas every week. Okay, so classes yang Madam buat tu memang Madam all out. Madam study. Kalau you tanya ketukins or you tanya siapa-siapa yang join kelas Madam, each class tu Madam memang tambah benda baru all the time. Okay, supaya dapat help all of you lah. Okay, so I think that's all for today. It's almost 27 minutes. Okay, so thank you again to those who have joined me during the session. Now we only have about 19 days left, okay, for session 2. So I wish all the best and make sure you keep practicing, right? Okay, so all the best, keep practicing. Make sure you see your target, yeah. All right. Okay, so all the best. May Allah help you all the time in your preparation, not only in the exam but in your preparation in each and every practice that you do and every breath you take, inshallah. Alright, so salawat all the time, inshallah. Assalamualaikum. Ciao.